Thanks for tuning into the Hidden Tracks podcast. You can find us wherever you find podcasts or listen to music. When you have an opportunity, please give us a 5-star review, write a little note, tell us how we're doing. We really appreciate it. It helps us keep this thing going. If you want to reach out to us, you can find us at Facebook at Hidden Tracks. Instagram is at HiddenTracks99, and if you'd like to send in submissions or talk to us or give us any feedback about what we're doing, our email is myhiddentracks99@gmail.com. Thank you so much again for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the show. What's up, everybody? I'm here with John and Brian from the indie rock band RIGBI. How you guys doing today?
I'm great, Shane. Thanks for having us.
Well, thanks for coming on. Fellow Jersey boys, got to help you out, and then I'll apologize for calling you an indie rock band, but that's the way of the world. It's where you're labeled as.
It's true.
Is that where you would throw your guys' self in if somebody asked you, like, where do you fall in? You would just say indie rock, or?
Generally speaking, that's what I usually try to say. It's funny because I feel like indie rock is such a catch-all term these days, but yeah, I think it's the easiest label for us for sure.
Yeah, I think the three biggest right now are alternative, indie rock, or pop punk. Like, those are like the staples of what people throw out when they talk about music.
Yeah.
So again, fellow Jersey boys, literally town over, which is funny how I said that we find ourselves through this medium, the way of the world nowadays. But, I'd start with John and say, hey, John, like, why don't you give us a little background about the band RIGBI?
Sure. Yeah, like you said, we're Jersey boys. We're all from Sussex County, Sparta, New Jersey. We have a long history, actually, outside of our musical history. We're longtime friends. A lot of us know each other from kindergarten. We went to Catholic school together. And we started a band, oh boy, way back in like 6th grade. I remember it vividly. Randy, our bass player.
What was the name of that band? It's not the same name, is it?
Oh, it is not.
Definitely not.
Oh God, it's funny. That the first band name I think we ever came up with was Ironwood, which was not great.
I'll agree to that. Yeah.
And then it changed to Metric System, which was okay, but not great.
It's still not great, but okay, yeah. Continue with your story.
So we made a band. A lot of us, Californication was out, and we just really liked the Chili Peppers, and Randy got a guitar, and he was like, I want to make a band, which was super random at the time. I mean, we're like video game nerds, most of us. So
yeah, I mean, it's video games and like kickball and, picking boogers and stuff, and it's start a band in 6th grade. Hey, listen, I like his passion and his forward looking.
Yeah. And, we said, okay, Rick, our guitarist, he got a bass. I kind of fell into second guitarist at the time, and we kind of, we had a drummer named Matt, who he's not in the band now, but he kind of still works with us behind the scenes. And we had a band throughout grade school, high school, and it kind of just evolved over the years. Basically, RIGBI is, I would say, the end evolution of what was our circle of friends forming a bunch of different combinations of bands over the years, playing various things. And RIGBI is the point where it just synced up right, I think.
Wow.
So we've been playing together for 20 years now.
Just about, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a long time to first off still be friends, second to play music, and music sometimes brings out the worst in friends, but the fact that you're still creating together is pretty awesome.
Yeah. And I think just the chemistry is just always there. I mean, we're friends first, and music is our passion, so I think it just blends together very nicely.
Awesome. Now, when coming up and growing as a band, I mean, you guys actually really grew into a band. I mean, there's not many stories that start in 6th grade as a band and are today still making music. So that's unique in and of itself. So, I mean, what was what was it like when it started to grow and catch on, and you started to see things? I know, Brian, you're currently in Nashville, so
Correct,
I
yeah.
mean, so music is definitely important to you. I mean, what was that progression like for you, and what brought you to be in Nashville?
Oh man. Well, I grew up with the guys, but I was 3 years behind them in school. So I went to the same school as them, but 3 years behind. Started out on saxophone, and then that progressed into drums when I was in 6th grade, and then went to college
was
for music.
saxophone the forced band instrument? Like you have to pick one, and you picked saxophone, or was it something that you already had in you?
It wasn't forced on me. It was definitely my choice. I'm not sure why I wanted to, but from a young age, that was what I wanted to pick. So I picked saxophone and then drums shortly after, and currently the drummer for RIGBI.
Awesome. So, I mean, growing up, 6th grade starting, I mean, so your stories start very, very young, and, you know, most of our musical journeys start very, very young. And start with you, John. I mean, do you remember your first musical memory, the first time you heard music, or do you remember what it was or what band that just, because there's the two moments in your life, the first time you hear music and then when you find your own way in music. Do you remember your first musical memory?
I think I do. I mean, I probably my first musical memory really is probably like kids music, like Raffi or something like that. I do remember watching him on TV and mimicking him with a I don't know what it's called, but the things from a fireplace that you blow the air into it. I would hold that like a guitar and pretend to be playing. But in terms of, I would say, non children's music, I remember being fascinated by Michael Jackson. I got Free Willy on a VHS tape, and and before the movie starts, they had this. I think it was a live segment, and he had a song in that movie.
Yeah.
Will you be there? And I think it was him performing it live, and I just remember being like, "This is so cool!" And I didn't know anything about Michael Jackson. I was probably like, I don't know, 6 or 8 years old or something like that. And I remember asking my mom, being like, "Who's that lady on the TV?" And she's like, "That's Michael Jackson." And I was like, I ended up getting all his albums on cassette tape at the time, and I would just listen to it constantly.
Wow, Michael Jackson. I mean, and for me, I mean, I grew up in the 80s, 90s. That was my time. So Michael Jackson still prevalent. And I mean, that was for me too. Like Thriller comes out, and that just like changed the world at the time, and thought it was great too. And by the time he got to Free Willy, I mean, I think I'd already graduated. So, yeah, probably wasn't into that ladylike of the Michael Jackson fun stuff, but that's pretty crazy. How about you, Brian? Do you remember your first musical memory, and then when you found something special?
I would say I was mesmerized. I think I was about 2 years old, which is kind of difficult to say I have a memory from being 2 years old, but I was at my aunt and uncle's wedding, and I remember seeing the drummer and the band playing and just being like mesmerized on the dance floor, just looking at the drummer. And that's like the first thing I can remember. And then my brother and I used to put our parents' radio on and just run around in circles with different radio stations on, just running around, chasing each other, dancing to the music in our parents' living room. And then I found my parents' record stash and found Meatloaf, Bat Out of Hell.
Oh man,
R.I.P.
and I would stick that record on, and I'd put the record player on as if it was a 45, and make it spin faster than it was supposed to, and listen to it on like super speed and try to sing the lyrics as it was spinning way too fast.
So let's see, we got Michael Jackson, and then we got Meatloaf, right? Which is, hey, listen, totally cool. I'm totally fine with it. I'm not judging. There's no judgments made here, besides the first band name. But I mean, now you're an indie rock band. So what's that progression from Michael Jackson? Where did you go next, John? Like, how did this like transpire to start finding different music? Because Michael Jackson to the kind of music that you guys play is quite different.
It's a bit of a reach, yeah. I feel like I jumped around a little bit. I went from Michael Jackson. My mom was a big Beatle person when she was younger. She was one of the girls that was like chasing their limousine back during Beatlemania.
Yep.
So she has one of those stories of like, she got up to the limo and got her hand on the car handle. So speaking of record stashes, I would often play my mom's Beatles records. I have them, actually. She gave them to me.
Oh, wow. Lucky you. I think I'm the only person in the fucking world, after all these people that I talked to, that my parents hated the Beatles.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man.
Like I'm like, that's crazy. I'm like, I can't believe that everybody's like, yeah, no, my parents love the Beatles. And I'm like, my parents fucking hated the Beatles.
Mop tops wasn't for them.
Guess not.
But yeah, so I jumped from the Beatles, then I went through a big Linkin Park phase when they were popular. And I think us as a band, as friends, we all really liked Red Hot Chili Peppers. And I feel like Red Hot Chili Peppers introduced me via the guitar player, John Frusciante.
Frusciante, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's the reason why I think they were so good. But
yeah, I totally agree. And he's back now, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But I remember in high school watching a live DVD of them, and he does like a song by himself every show. And I was just, for some reason, it was just crazy to me. He sang like an old doo-wop song, and I started researching him on the internet and found out that he had like, at the time, like 4 solo albums, and I just became obsessed. And that was kind of my first introduction into like non-mainstream music. And from there, so John Frusciante, then I kind of got into, bands like the Decemberists and the Secret Machines, Death Cab for Cutie, and Rilo Kiley, things like that.
Nice. How about you, Brian?
Let's see.
Where'd you go after Meatloaf?
Well, I kind of grew up playing jazz. Went the jazz route on saxophone. So I listened to a lot of John Coltrane, anything Miles Davis, Wayne Shorter. To this day, I'm still listening to them. Dave Matthews Band, huge influence for me. I still go to their shows.
There's nothing wrong with that.
That about sums up me.
I remember the first time seeing Brian play drums. I could definitely hear the Dave Matthews influence. There's actually, I remember the first time we played together, Brian. I don't know if you remember that.
Was it at the grist mill?
It was. There's a great cafe around where we were playing at the time called the Grist Mill Cafe, and they had an open mic every week. And I think we were home from college, and I guess, Brian, you were in high school at the time, but I remember you were playing drums with a singer-songwriter, and you guys needed a bassist. And
I remember that, yeah.
So I hopped up on bass, and our other friend, Brian St. John, hopped up on guitar, and we were just jamming. And I just remember within like 20 seconds, you and me locking
just
in.
Locked in, yeah. I remember that.
It was true Dave fashion of just jamming out.
Yeah.
I think we played song for like 10 minutes.
at least.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I love hearing the first time you guys play together. I mean, when was the first time that RIGBI took the stage as a, cohesive band?
Did we open for Delicate Steve?
Yeah. That
Stanhope
was
House?
Yeah, I think that was one. If that wasn't our first show, it was definitely probably our second show. Delicate Steve, also Jersey veteran, great guitarist. I think that was around 2012 is when RIGBI became a cohesive band.
Yep.
We actually, Brian and I, over the winter, we were just kind of recording in the studio, working on some like crazy prog rock ideas, just to record. No plan to make a band or anything, just a fun project. We're listening to a lot of Mars Volta at the time.
Yep.
That'll do it.
And we were like, oh, maybe we should do like a one-off show or something. So we got the rest of the guys involved to like, help us maybe be able to play these songs out. And within probably 40 minutes of that first rehearsal, we scrapped all of the songs that we had been working on and ended up writing new material. And we had like our first song that was like, oh, this could be a band.
What was that first song?
Keep Talking to Me on our first record.
All right.
And it was a surprise. We didn't plan for it to happen. And, to this day, I think RIGBI's for sure my favorite project I've ever been a part of.
Well, I mean, you started in 6th grade. How many more were there?
There's a good combination. Yeah, there's probably
a lot.
Yeah, there's probably 4 or 5 different combinations of band names out there.
So when you guys first played that first show, did it feel different than anything else that you had done before? Was it work, or was it like, wow, this could definitely be something?
Yeah, it definitely was not work. It was definitely all fun. And we had been practicing, playing together every week. So it was like no stress, just fun.
Yeah, I think once we decided like, oh, this could be something, we kind of got serious with it and did weekly practices. And I do remember after playing that show, like getting off stage feeling like, we had played so many shows in other bands up until that point, and you feel good about it, but I could definitely tell that the reaction was different in a very positive way, where people were just like really interested in what we were doing right off the bat, and that was a great feeling.
So you play that first show and you get that just visceral feeling when you play live music and things go well and you worked hard on something and it just feels good. I mean, what was the motivation moving forward from that point?
I think just to keep going and see where it could go. I think, like I said, it was kind of just a surprise that we even had this band kind of start up, and it was just like, oh, okay. And it felt organic. I think, like Brian said, definitely not work. So just kind of go with the flow. And I think within a year, we put out that first record, and it had like 14 songs on it.
I think it was 14 songs, yeah.
Yeah, which is a lot for a first record,
Yeah.
Everybody usually starts with an EP.
Right, yeah. Yeah. It was like, we're just going to throw out 14 songs. Here you go.
We went all in on it. And I think we tend to be going in the opposite direction, where it's like each album has a little bit less. And now
now we're down to what, 3?
Now we're doing EPs.
Now you're playing the singles game of here you go. Yeah. And 6 months later, here's another one.
Right, yeah.
Make your own album, folks.
Right.
But so you had mentioned earlier, I mean, about like some of your influences, and I mean, you got new music coming out. You released a new single, I'm a Mess in Winter, which I love because I fucking hate winter. I mean, Jersey Day today, it's fucking 20 degrees. Sunday, it's going to be 70 degrees. Like, I'm a mess in winter.
Yeah.
And it's a great song. And, new single features, someone that you named as a band that you liked, Dave from Death Cab, Cutie. I mean, what's that like in a progression of a band to all of a sudden have someone play a song with you that you've listened to?
Oh man, it's wild. I think even now, if I listen to that song, it's like it still kind of takes me by surprise that he's even on it. And I feel like it was there's a continual theme here where I feel like things just happen that we don't expect, and it's just like it fits right in. We were working on this song for a while and piecing together parts, and this little section where Dave plays an awesome guitar solo, we had left open saying there's going to be an instrumental part there, we'll figure it out. and I got down to recording my part, and I was trying to fill something in there. It just wasn't feeling right. And I don't know, within the next couple of days, I went on social media. Dave Depper's doing this, fundraising event across all his social medias, trying to raise money for Music Cares. It was during right when quarantine started. So, musicians were out of gigs, things like that. And, he offered to help raise money. He would play on other artists' songs, and I reached out, and we got the opportunity to work with him. We sent him the song. He liked it, and he played guitar solo. It's surreal, really. It's awesome.
Yeah, when you have someone that you admire and respect, and they give you the time of day, it's definitely almost one of those moments where it's just surreal, and then when it's over, you're just like, that. I don't think that just happened. But you have it down and it's recorded, and so now you can always say, yeah, no, it definitely fucking happened.
That's right. I think for a week or so I was like texting Brian being like, hey, remember that time that Dave recorded a guitar solo on our song?
Oh, that's awesome. So back to some more personal stuff. Brian, do you remember the first concert you ever saw in your life? And don't try to like be cool. Like, do you have like, if it's a cool one, that's fine. But I don't want someone to make something up.
I don't really remember.
Was it your aunt's wedding? Was that the?
I mean, if you want to count that, I guess. Yeah. No. It might have been in New York City at the Iridium. The Mingus Big Band.
Oh, that's a cool one.
I think it was that. I was doing a summer jazz camp at William Patterson University, and part of it was to go into the city and see a concert. I can't really pinpoint the very first time, but that's the earliest one I can think of and remember.
All right. How about you, John?
I think I have the first concert I went to, but it was with my parents.
That's fine. My first one, I tell people it was with my parents, but it was still my first concert.
I think we went and saw James Galway who is a flautist, and just very easy listening. And I went with my friend, and we fell asleep.
Your parents may have done that on purpose.
Yeah. But my first concert that I chose to go to was Linkin Park. They did a festival tour, and it was with Linkin Park, Less Than Jake, The Used, Snoop Dogg, and Korn.
Nice.
Dang.
I mean, what was your first one that you got to choose, Brian?
It would be Dave Matthews Band.
All right.
Yep.
I get it. Did you go to like all four in a row that were at Giant Stadium, or what?
Oh, no, it was at the Toyota Pavilion, somewhere in Pennsylvania.
Oh, it's traveled. Nice. Yeah. Now, when you see other artists play, and I mean, live music is everything to me. I mean, it is my world is just watching live music and getting that feeling. And when you guys get out and play live and play with other bands, has there ever been a band that you've, been on the same ticket with, that you've been able to stand back and just watch them and just honestly be like, holy shit, what they just did was amazing? John, I'll start with you.
Oh, sure. Yeah, we played with, I mentioned before, Delicate Steve. He's a good friend of ours, actually went to our school as well, and but he was a little bit older. And he plays this crazy instrumental music with his friends, and man, he makes his guitar, it's like a vocalist, and their chemistry on stage was always something that was just awesome to watch. So I think being part of that was really cool. Also like Gypsy Wig. That was a band around here I was actually just listening to them today, and those were good guys, and they were really tight too.
How about you, Brian?
Can you repeat the question?
Have you ever played, live and, been on the same ticket as a band and been able to sit back and watch them and just be in awe of what they're accomplishing on stage? And again, it doesn't take away, I always try to preface, it doesn't take away from anyone else you've ever performed with, but, just, someone that is just different, than what you expected or better than what you expected.
Oh man, I don't know. I don't know if I have an answer.
All right, so I'm just going to stick with John for the rest of the show. So
I'm sorry. I mean, I don't know.
I feel like, I mean, not to be cheesy, but I think like all the band, I know you say it doesn't discount any of the other bands, but all the bands we've played with, I think in their own way have been really great to watch. Sometimes it's like a singer-songwriter act. Sometimes it's more of a jammy act, but there's a lot of great New Jersey bands out here. And even on the road, we've gone on the road a few times and we've played with a lot of great bands too. Yeah.
And I've always found it, quite funny that how many bands have really come out of Jersey and made it. And, a lot of people never really know they're from Jersey because nobody ever really talks about the music scene that has always been here and been cultivated since, forever, really. I mean, you look at some of the most famous actors in the world, they're from New Jersey. Some of the best musicians in the world, they're from New Jersey. And there's just this thing that goes on here and everybody's like, oh, it's because you're so close to the city, but that's not really where it happens.
Yeah.
It happens in a VFW hall in fucking Sparta. It happens in someone's basement in fucking Wayne. Like, like it's crazy that there's all this great talent that has all come from here and so many great bands past and present that are from New Jersey. And it's just like, to me, it's mind blowing when all of a sudden I start listening to bands just like you guys. And I'm just like, oh shit, they're from Jersey. Well, of course they are. They're good.
Yeah, you're right. It's always a surprise. I feel like, Bruce Springsteen's like the only band that
Springsteen and Jovi, that's the only ones people know are from Jersey.
I know. And then everyone else is just like, yeah, they adopt the nearest city. So it's like, oh, well, we're from New York.
Yeah. From New York. We're from Philly. Even if you're, from down South Jersey, like, yeah, we're from Philly. Well, you're
right.
But so, John, it's because I'm just talking to John for the rest of the show. If somebody, came up to you and you were talking to him and you're telling them you're a musician and you have a band and they said, oh, really? What's the name of your band? You tell them, what song of yours would you play for them to show you what type of band you are?
That's a great question. I feel like I would pick Restless and Reckless is like one of my favorites.
Wow. Okay, this happens way too often. So listening through your entire catalog again today, that's my favorite song.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. That's awesome.
It really is. It's funny. And someone told me the other day, it's like if I say it first, and an artist is usually like, wow, that's weird. Because like I never really would say that. But yeah, that's my favorite one that I've done. And I'm like, wow. But yes, that is honestly, hand to God, that's exactly what I had said. So awesome.
Thank you. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, I think that one hits right. I think with the arrangement there and the strings that we put on there really kind of drive home what I think we've liked to do in the past, which is try to bring a big production to a band that you might not expect a big production from.
All right. And you know what? I guess I'll loop Brian in. Maybe he has a different answer.
Well, I really enjoy playing our song Hostage.
Okay.
From our Visionary album. So from a playing standpoint, I'd pick that one for myself.
That's a good one, especially live. I think live.
I like really enjoy playing that one.
Awesome. I love the fact that you had an answer this time. I mean, makes the show just work that much better.
I mean, yeah, my bad.
Listen, we're Jersey boys. I'm going to bust your balls. That's just how this works. I mean, it's in our DNA. So just, you got to be ready for it.
Very true.
So knowing that, like, you got an album coming out soon. So, I mean, what is your preparation like for this album that you have coming out?
Oh
Or
man,
EP. I'm sorry. I'll label it EP because you guys are working backwards and it is an EP, but
that's true. It's a lot of behind the scenes production. I mean, I think we are mainly on YouTube these days. Brian being in Nashville, we've
my
been
fault.
No, it's good. We've been working remotely since before quarantine was a thing. So
you had it down.
we had it down. We were ready. So we
Doing
do a
virtual
video
practices and all that.
Yeah.
All that.
Yeah. And we do a video for every song we put out these days, whether it's we do a blend of originals and covers. And so that's the main focus. Get a video done, film that, and that's the fun part. And then, there's all the social media stuff that comes with it too.
And I mean, this is part of the media part. So, I mean, when you're doing stuff, do you find it hard to talk about your creations and the songs you guys write? Or is it something? I know for some artists, they don't really like to talk about their art, but for some people, they get a lot of more enjoyment talking about what they created than what they actually created. How do you guys deal with that through all this media stuff you got to do?
I guess I enjoy talking about it, especially in a forum like this. I'm a huge fan of like casual interviews like this. So I think I'm just pumped to be on a podcast like this. So thanks for having us. And this is the way to talk about it. I think that it's more engaging, and I think more interesting for everybody involved. So,
well, yeah. I'm glad you're on here, and I mean, there's this thing in life that's happening nowadays that everybody thinks that they deserve stuff and thinks that what they're doing is fantastic, but it's the people that are actually doing and creating. And you guys have so many different ways of creating, from writing songs to performing songs, doing it Nashville to Jersey, and then putting out a video, and just getting you guys got a lot of praise for covering the Head and Heart song, and I mean, like, to see it start coming and having other people from around the world hear your music and talk to you and hear about it. I mean, was that ever a thought in your mind that was ever going to happen? Brian, you can answer this one if you want. I mean, it's up to you.
John's got it.
I think, I think any band, you have the thought of like, you want people to hear your stuff. I'd be lying if I said, I'm perfectly content just making something and putting it in the closet and no one ever hearing it. You want it to get out there and for people to enjoy it. So I think with the way technology is and the internet, there's someone out there that likes every kind of music, and it is awesome that if it feels like it's really paying off when you hear someone from wherever reaching out to you and saying that they enjoyed the video or enjoyed the song. It means a lot.
All right. Yeah. So guess I'm just gonna stick with John again. So Rolling Stone categorizes it as your favorite band. I will categorize it as, is there a band in your life that you've listened to? They could either still be putting out music or stopped putting out music, but a band that you've listened to, I'm going to actually give this to you, Brian, that has just never let you down when they release music or when they had released music.
John Coltrane. Definitely John Coltrane, Miles Davis. Obviously, they're not releasing music anymore.
No.
Well, I think we should.
Somebody could release their music somewhere, but
we should mention that, like, Brian being in Nashville playing saxophone, he is an accomplished jazz saxophone player. So I feel like it might seem random that he's talking about jazz stuff, but he has got chops, and He plays.
Yeah,
all the time.
it's kind of what I do.
Yeah, it's all right, dude. Listen, you're like the dark, quiet guy in the corner of the show right now, and you're just keeping it saxy.
John just has all the perfect answers, so I don't want to take away from him.
Yeah, Brian's in the cool jazz
I'm
room.
like the oddball. I'm like over here playing saxophone, drummer for RIGBI. But yeah, I did move to Nashville, and I play saxophone and teach and play regularly at the jazz club here in Nashville.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, you took that upon yourself to go there, right, and to fulfill something that you wanted to do, and that's the commendable part. Being on a show giving shitty answers was never probably in your what you foresaw. So, John, what band in your life has never let you down?
I would say anything Jenny Lewis does, I'm just a huge fan of. Her band, Rilo Kiley, I've loved for a long time, and even her solo stuff that she's continuing to do. Every album that comes out, my wife always thinks I'm crazy because I always like pre-order the biggest package, whatever it is, like the vinyl and the t-shirt and the
vinyl, t-shirt, tape,
tote bag,
notes, yeah, tote bag, everything.
Yeah, I'm just a big fan, and if there's any lyrical influence on me, I would think Jenny Lewis is the one that I listen to the most there.
Awesome. Is there any moment in your life that is just you equate with music constantly, like your favorite musical moment that you've ever had, John?
Oh man, there's a lot. I feel like the first one comes to mind, probably a cheesy answer, but my wife and I's first dance at our wedding.
Listen, it's not cheesy. I get it. I totally get it.
We took dancing lessons and actually did like a custom choreography, and I am not a dancer in any way, but besides listening to Michael Jackson when I was a kid. And we actually picked a Death Cab for Cutie song, funny enough, and we didn't tell anybody, and we surprised everybody with a custom choreographed dance, which was really special.
It's a good memory. It's one of my favorite musical memories is dancing with my wife to Ray Charles doing Over the Rainbow. Like that's
a great song.
Yeah. So I get it. All right, Brian, let's see what answer you got. Is it Coltrane or Davis surrounding you while playing sax?
So can it be like a weekly memory?
Yeah. Listen, I mean, hey, you're throwing out the hits tonight, so like keep them coming, bro.
No, I get to play with Reggie Wooten every week, and it's always just incredible at Rudy's Jazz Room. So I would say just playing music with Reggie every week.
I'll accept that answer.
That's what I got.
I mean, yeah, the Wootens they're a musical family. That's awesome.
No, I mean, listen, I know I'm busting your balls here, but I mean, it is kind of spectacular what you're doing. Picking up, going to Nashville, playing jazz, doing what you love. I mean, it really is commendable. And I think more people should be like that, to just go do it. I tell people all the time, if you have a thought in your head that you want to do something, just go fucking do it. Because what's the worst that can happen? It doesn't work out. And just keep going. So I know I've been busting your balls, but I really am just busting your balls.
Oh, I know.
All right. So 5 minutes left to live on this earth. Impending doom's coming. Meteor's going to hit. You have 5 minutes and you have to listen to one song. What song would it be, John?
Ooh. I'll go with More Adventurous by Rilo Kiley.
Almost could have predicted that. How about you, Brian?
Pressure's on.
Naima Live at Temple University by John Coltrane.
All right. Could have figured that too. So one one of the things that I think kind of sums up people too, and especially like an age group that I grew up in, but there's always been awesome music soundtracks. Whether it be great score by a composer, or something like singles or anything like that. John, do you have like a favorite movie soundtrack that you've always turned to when it comes to like movie soundtracks?
Yeah, I first one that comes to mind is Garden State, which I know is funny because we're from New Jersey.
Yeah.
But Zach Braff obviously made that movie. He's from the show Scrubs that had great music, and I remember seeing that movie for the first time, and that was a great compilation of songs that I listened to all of my freshman year of college. Actually, I remember I would borrow someone's skateboard and I would ride up and down the hallway in the dorm with my headphones on, listening to that soundtrack.
Well, I think that was the soundtrack of, the millennium, at that time. Like there was, for me in the 90s, it was singles. And then I think the next huge one was Garden State, because when it comes to soundtracks and stuff like that, things just are perfect. You can't skip a song. You don't want to miss what's coming up next. You hit pause instead of, hitting stop.
Yeah. I Wish I Was Here was his follow-up movie to Garden State, like years later. That's also a great soundtrack. I would be traveling for work and I would just listen to that before I go to bed. That was just like a great hotel like soundtrack by yourself.
How about you, Brian?
I honestly don't have one. Truthfully, I don't have one.
All right. So there's that. Do you have any guilty pleasures? Something that is you get a lot of enjoyment out of that someone would probably, stop and say, "Wow, I never thought you would listen to this." John?
My wife makes fun of me for this one. Taylor Swift. That 1989 and Red albums are fantastic, and the recent one, Folklore.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
I'm with you, man. I said I tried to stay away for so long, and I was just like, and I watched the Disney Plus fucking recording of Folklore in the cabin, and I was just like, God damn it, it's fucking good.
I know, and you could tell, like, I know Bon Iver's on that, or Justin Verden's on that record, but you could tell the influence just on the songs that she must have been listening to a bunch of indie rock at the time. They're great songs. She's a great songwriter. So probably that. Some other, mainstream pop stuff I do really enjoy.
You got anything for this, Brian?
Well, I'm the weird one listening to jazz, so.
Well, you like Taylor Swift too. Don't lie.
Yes.
Listen, I like jazz. That's not weird. Like normal people do like jazz. You're not the only guy.
Taylor Swift, 100%.
All right.
That would be it.
Yeah, I honestly think like that Folklore album did so much good for her in her career to just like bring in so many people like us.
Yes.
To just be like, all right, yeah, she's fucking talented, great music. Fuck, now I have to say I'm okay with Taylor Swift.
I remember that. I think she's re-recording all her songs lately, and that one song, All Too Well, I remember hearing that for the first time. It was the one where it was like a meme. She's playing the piano and like headbanging at, I think it was the Grammys or something like that. But the lyrics in that song are so good. Like, I remember the one line about like dancing in the dark with the refrigerator light on. I'm like, that's good. I wish I thought of that one.
she write, like, her lyrics are fucking fantastic, and like that's the thing. That's why like I do put her above a lot of people, because she does do it all, and it's so commendable. Like, she's just not that quintessential pop star that everybody always thought she was. I know she was writing her own songs, and I just give her so much more credit for that too. That she's got a lot of help on a lot of stuff, but she does do her own stuff, and that's the kind of stuff for me that I'm just like, yeah, listen, you go in a separate category.
Yeah. I also I really like the last Paramore album, which is different than I think their other stuff, but that it's like a poppy type album, but it is great. It's fantastic.
Yeah, well, once someone gets big, especially when it comes, and they do lop onto that, and the term pop, to me, my definition is pop just means accessible. It just means it's accessible to the masses. It means your mother can listen to it, your little sister can listen to it, you can listen to, that type of, it's accessible to everyone. And it's not always a bad term, when someone goes pop, but it's happened to so many bands that were either emo or pop punk or indie, and it just happens. Recently it's happened to Phoebe Bridgers.
Yes.
She was fucking amazing. I remember hearing her cover the Manchester Orchestra song. First time I heard her voice, and I was like, whoa, this is fucking different. Who is this? And then her album came out, and I fucking got it. I'm like, this is honey for my ears. And then all of a sudden, now she blew up and she's doing pop stuff, but she also does stuff with Conor Oberst, who's the indie king. And, but
sure,
it just means more people are going to listen to it. And it's not always necessarily bad. Sometimes they're going to put out shit you don't like, but that's just not always the case. Not everyone's going to please you every time.
Right.
So there's a moment in your life, and it's when you get your driver's license, right? First time you get your driver's license and you pull up to your friend's house, you have your newly minted driver's license. Everyone's got a radio. Everyone's listening to something. Do you remember what song you were listening to or what you were blasting on the radio when you first got your driver's license? Brian?
So I had an older brother, and he was really into rap music. So probably one of his burned CDs with blaring loud bass rap music. I couldn't tell you what song or what name, but that's what it would have been.
The old days of the trunk bouncing a little bit.
Exactly. Yeah. I think I blew out a few speakers, a few subs.
Everybody thought it was so cool that you heard that tin knocking on your fucking trunk. How about you, John?
I don't remember specifically what song, but it would definitely have been John Frusciante for sure. Mm-hmm. If I had to guess, it was probably his older stuff that was probably very drug fueled.
No.
There's a song called "Your Pussy's Glued to a Building on Fire."
What?
That was when he was in rehab, though. So, I mean, he was getting better.
Yeah. But, it was probably something weird like that because at the time I was really into that. Not the drug part, though.
Oh, okay. Thank God for clarifying that. I didn't want to have to put a disclaimer in the liner notes. So what do you guys see for yourself in the future coming up and moving forward now that things are starting to break, some sort of normalcy is coming to the world and, EP coming out? What are your plans moving forward?
I think we're going to continue to remotely write music. Just keep creating.
Yeah, stay the course, what we've been doing. We work remotely as a standard. We do shows when we can. Brian comes back a few times a year, and he'll either record drums here, or if we can fit a show or two in, we'll do that. But I think we found a happy home on YouTube and Spotify, things like that, and it gives us the time to work on each song. I think that's why we're kind of aiming towards EPs these days, because it allows us to take each song and make each one special, as opposed to sometimes when you do an album, especially if you're a little bit of a smaller band, there's songs that you love so much, but they might not get the attention that you think they deserve because it's kind of swallowed by a whole piece. So I think taking a few songs at a time, it's been a lot of fun, and we're finding a community here on the web, and it's been great. So
yeah. And that is when you start out with 14 songs for your first album, and it is that kind of, hey, we did all this, let's put it out and give it to everyone, and the recipe works, what you're doing now, and that's the kind of stuff too where it's always hard, and for me sometimes too, especially when newer bands are coming out. I mean, you guys have been around for a while, you've put out a lot of stuff, which is fantastic, But like when I hear a song by somebody and I'm like, wow, I fucking dig this. And then I go look for them and I look up and I'm like, they have 3 singles. Like, shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, they're all bangers, but I'm just like, I want more. So that's it. It's that tough. We're in that tough space in life right now where it's hard to figure out what is the formula of how to do it. And if you guys think you have it figured out for what's best for you guys, that's awesome, because a lot of people don't find it.
Yeah. I echo that for sure. It's just about, you got to do what's right for your band. You know, some bands love doing the road thing and they do it great. And for us, you know, just with our situation, I think more of an online thing helps. And, you know, I mean, not that it's that strange these days, but, you know, we've been DIY for a very, very long time. We started recording back in high school. I had like a crappy 2-track.
Yeah, John was always the guy to go to record.
I'm the de facto production guy. And, you know, so over the years, you know, you first start recording and it's just the idea that you can even record anything is just a miracle. And it sounds like shit, but you're like, but I made this. This is awesome. You know, we recorded drums, a whole drum set into one mono track. And I remember I didn't even know what mono was, but it was like, yeah, it's fine. And we just made songs with like layers and layers of stuff all in mono. So it just like, it's just hard to listen to when you go back to it. But I remember being so proud. And obviously we've progressed you know, to this point where, you know, like I said before, I always strive. I think we all strive in our band to do more than a band would at our level. So, you know, we're going to get that string quartet. We're going to take the time Brian does our arranging for when we have guest artists for horns or strings.
Yeah.
He's our classically trained musician. We're all kind of just faking it until we make it besides him.
Well, I mean, it gives you like so much more pleasure though too, because it is that you know, the DIY and being able to figure it out from 2-track recordings and mono to now what it sounds like when it's coming out. I mean, it just gives you a different set of pleasure. Like, oh my God, you remember when where you are now. I mean, you do that with a lot of things in life, but you're like, oh my, remember when we recorded that and what it sounded like and what our new song sounds like? Who would have thought?
Yeah. I remember there was a key moment, I think, that Brian and we were working in the studio and Matt, the guy who was our original drummer in our very first band, he helps me mix the drums, you know, so I do the recording, I mix everything, but he has the ear for the drums, so he helps us mix that.
Yeah, so we bounce those files to him. He does all the mixing, sends it back.
Yeah. But I remember the three of us at some point talking about the idea of like, don't settle for good enough. And, you know, it sounds like a self-help mantra or something, but, you know, it's like when you start recording and you get tired or you think like, yeah, it's just good enough. It's fine. But no, we keep going back. If we make a video that doesn't look good, we're not going to release it. We're going to do it again. And we've always followed that in RIGBI. I know that.
Well, that's awesome to hear, and you know, we look forward to everything new that's coming. I'm looking forward to the EP. Comes out April 8th, if I'm correct, right?
Yes.
Awesome. So
we have a new song coming out March 7th and April 8th. Yes.
All right. Well, it's awesome. Listen, guys, I don't want to keep you here all night, and it's the end of the week, and I know we're probably all tired from our normal life and having some fun here. What I'd like you guys to do now, if you don't mind, if you'd like to tell everybody how to find everything what you guys are doing.
Sure. RIGBI Music across one word, RIGBI Music across everything is Instagram, Facebook. So YouTube, like I said, it's like the main place we are. Instagram would probably be the place for day-to-day updates, and then everything kind of trickles down from there.
Awesome. Well, we're going to move into our last segment of the week. It's our weekly threes, and it's 3 things you're listening to right now that you would like people to check out. Doesn't matter what it is. It could be new, old, you don't have to like be cool about it, but I'm going to guess Brian is Coltrane, Davis. I'll write it down now, but yeah, if
Coltrane, Davis, and Shorter. You got it. A little bit of Herbie Hancock in there too.
All right.
I guess for me it would be, I've been on for about a year or more than a year. I think I've been on a Counting Crows kick. So I feel like I missed them when I was younger. Which is surprising. They're like totally up my alley, but I've been kind of really getting
I also
into
think
that.
they got forgotten about real fast, and they were still pumping out fucking amazing music.
Yeah. Oh, man. Like, want to talk about great lyrics. Adam Duritz is like a master.
Yeah, like talking to people about them, and I'm just like, oh my God, Hard Candy. And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, no, it's an album. Like, it's fucking brilliant. It's amazing. Like, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah. No, it's a shame. Yeah, they have a lot of great albums. Also, in the YouTube world, I feel like YouTube musicians kind of are in their own little cinematic universe here. But I think Orla Gartland, she's like killing it. She's a great YouTube musician, been blowing up lately. I would say listen to her, check her out. And Dodie, Dodie. She's also great.
All right, good 3. So are we sticking with those 3 for you, Brian, or do you have something?
Oh yeah, that's 100% what I listen to. Like no joke.
All right. Wow, it's like I know you.
I'm pretty simple, you know.
Well, my 3 for this week, my first one is another New Jersey band called In Angles. Awesome album called Cardinal. It's like a post-hardcore mathy emo from New Jersey. Really Good band to check out. My next one is Brigades, Carolina rockish emo tinged, with an album called Renditions. And last band is a punk band from Texas called House Parties, and the song that I've been listening to that I found is called Collateral. So those are the 3 things. My 3 is for this week. But that's it. Guys, I want to thank you so much for being here. John, Brian, this has been a blast. Sorry I busted your balls the whole time, Brian, but you deserved it. But listen, you guys are doing a great job what you're doing. You found your formula. It's awesome. Love the music you're creating. So thank you so much for giving that to me, and hope our listeners like what they hear. So thank you so much, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us, Shane. It was a pleasure.
Pleasure was all mine. So everyone out there in the world, you know what to do next. Go out, listen to RIGBI, and have a great fucking time.
And I'm still on this road.
Thanks again for tuning into the Hidden Tracks podcast. We hope you enjoyed this week's show. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at HiddenTracks99. Also, send all your submissions myhiddentracks99@gmail.com. Tune in next week. You may find your new favorite band, and don't forget to go out and have a great fucking time.